Throughout middle school and high school, I was always very obsessed with anime. And my favorite part was always when the protagonist and their rival would be competing for some sort of overall objective. And what it always resonated with me and what I always wanted was when you were competing with people, it didn't make you one or two times better. It literally made them 100,000 times better. And it is the same way in your personal life. When me, Luke, and PJ are working, we are all trying to compete with each other to do better. That is the natural male instinct. When we are trying to eat healthy, if one of us is eating only steak and we're trying to get super jacked, everyone is going to do the same thing. When one of us is working out once a day and someone starts going twice a day, you start working out twice a day because you are a high testosterone man surrounded by people who are trying to do better. It is the exact same if you are living in a frat house and all your friends are drinking at night. You are also going to drink at night. Or if you're hanging out with complete losers, you are inevitably going to sucker down to their level. But when you are competing and trying to get better with people who are just doing the exact same thing as you, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my rate of progress right now is not one or two times better than it would be on your own, but it is literally a few 100,000% better.
Yeah, I mean, competition is absolutely everything. And what's the quote you always say to me? You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. I think that is such an important quote for people to be aware of today, as we're kind of living through this massive big bifurcation in society. Like there's literally 1% of males sleeping with like 90% of the women, and like literally half of men under 30 today are virgins and they haven't slept with anyone. So I think like we are living through this bifurcation, and you need to make a decision. Are you going to try to surround yourself with other males and individuals who are trying to improve their life and they're going to take you to that top 1%? Or are you going to surround yourself with people who are, just watching Netflix all day, drinking all weekend, content working their 9 to 5 job and, just doing, let's say, beta male activities. We don't have to get into the specifics of jerking off and eating poison and all that sorts of crap, but there's a lot of men out there who are doing activities that are actively feminizing them. Okay, jerking off to porn every night, it's not making you better. It's not putting you in the top 1%. It's making you worse around women. It's making you worse in the bedroom.
It's also making you tired. And actually, from a very physiological level, once you finish, your life's purpose is done because you are reproducing. Why you don't have a fire on your ass to start working after you just finished, either even if you're with a woman or masturbating, it doesn't really matter.
And then when there's no other option, like when you don't allow yourself to do something like that, then you actually start, approaching that in the mall or go and doing it the old school way. But I think.
What about from your personal life, PJ? How do you feel, not from a theory level, but hanging around me and Luke, where we just work all day, every day? How does that make you want to do better?
Well, I do that because I want to be better myself. And I think the people you choose to be around everyone has an idea. Well, I guess maybe everybody, sees the type of people like they want to be like in the future. Then it comes down to, well, what do you have to do to become the person that you want to be? And I think all of us understand that, like, the more you surround yourself with certain type of people, the more you're going to end up like them. Mm-hmm. And so I, make the conscious decision myself to surround myself with the type of people I want to be like. And it does when you and the people you're around are, have the same goals, are striving towards the same thing on the same, mission. You all grow with each other. It's like having a team.
Yeah, and competing helps so much. We will compete to the death and then be best friends after. And you would take a bullet for that person who you go to war with, but you also want to kick their ass. And so it's such a great dynamic.
Yeah, it's like you don't compete because you want the worst for the other person. It's you both, it's your tribe. You want to all help each other grow around you.
And I'm going to kick their ass in ping pong. And there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, it's funny because Josh literally did just kick our ass in ping pong. I think you said something interesting though, PJ. You said, making the conscious decision to surround yourself with the people who are trying to improve themselves. I think that's the most important part.
It's not it's not like easy to do that. It's easy to hang out with the
Exactly.
people who you're not getting outside your comfort zone at all, to be around them. You don't have to be intellectually stimulated. I don't like talking in front of a camera, but these people do. My friends do that every single day, and I know how important that is. And getting your thoughts out, being able to express yourself. So I do that anyways, not because it's like easy and I like genuinely want to do that. It's because I know it's going to help me grow, and what else is there to do in life than grow and always try to make yourself better.
Yeah, talking on camera is super difficult. And I think like you've made the decision to leave your parents in Boston and come live in Colombia, which is supposed to be one of the most, dangerous countries around there in the world.
Oh,
So like there might be some people thinking, but you've got it good. You're living with Luke and Josh in a nice home, but it's like people only ever see the end result. They don't see the difficult decisions, the conscious decisions you had to make to surround yourself around those people who are trying to improve themselves.
Yeah, and you're actually exactly where you were supposed to be, because where you are today is just a result of your past actions. So what you've done for the past 2-3 years has led to exactly where you are today. So if you don't like who you are today, that is completely your fault. But that's your past fault. You can always change that today.
Right.
And I know when I think of things on such a long time horizon, I know that if I just continue to work 10 plus hours every single day for the next 5-10 years, it is inevitable that I will achieve the goals that I'm looking for. But I also know myself well enough to know if I'm hanging around people who party every single weekend, I will do that. I also know if all my friends are drinking, I will 100% drink. And if all my friends are eating shit food, I will eat shit food, because I don't have a ton of willpower. So because I don't, and I know myself, I just have to remove myself from those situations, which is I think for me more important than just making the easy decision or the hard decision of doing something hard. It's actually just removing myself from the decisions that I know counteract to what I'm trying to achieve.
It's all about creating an environment where it's easy for you to have good habits and keep good habits. Right. If I have chips and chocolate and crap in the fridge and the pantry, I'm far more likely to nibble on that crap and get even fatter than I am now. And like if Pam orders some crap food, like I'm going to think, oh, well, I'm in Colombia. I want to at least try this food and see what it's like. So I think you're 100% right. It's difficult to make those decisions. And I think something that a lot of people overlook is creating and tailoring the environment around you. You can make sure you're in an environment with good people and make sure you're in an environment with good food at home. And this goes for every aspect of life. It's not just what's in the pantry or what food's in the fridge or what friends are around you. It can even come down to what country you're in. Are you happy being in a cold country where it rains and pours and it's cold for 6 months in the year? That's also your environment, and it does impact how you feel and how you're going to make progress as a human. Like for me, I value being in somewhere with warm weather. It makes you want to do things, makes you want to exercise, makes you want to go out and do things with friends and family. So again, that's a great point. But I think like building on that point, like constructing your environment is such an important thing that I think a lot of people overlook.
Yeah, it's kind of like chess. I think what Luke and Josh are talking about here is knowing yourself. You know what type of temptation or traps you fell into before that you can avoid in the future. So just taking certain things out of your environment so you don't even have to deal with that. And
what do you think your trap is, PJ?
Great question. I mean, shit. I'm a human just like anyone else is. I don't think there's one in particular trap, maybe.
Well, I'll go into what I know that I need to stay away from. It is most certainly I can get into a bad negative feedback loop of watching a bunch of TV. I can binge anime, per se. I loved anime. I still do. Or watching movies or something. I need to remove myself. Like if I, let's say, had a girlfriend, which when I did, we would watch a bunch of movies together. Even though I knew that was not an objectively good thing that I should have been doing, I was doing it for whatever reason. Same thing with eating bad food. I get extreme cravings to eat a bunch of processed seed oils, junk food. And so I know that those are things that I need to stay away from. So I have to remove myself from those types of environments. Those are just two there. I mean, there's hundreds of others. What about you, Luke?
Great question. Tough question. I think it varies based upon different life goals and objectives. It's like obviously I think a big one that everybody deals with is food. Like we see food propaganda everywhere. Like even if you're like I haven't watched television in 10 years, but we still get ads for food on YouTube.
You watch Netflix with the Pam.
Yeah, we
or
watch
movies.
we watch one Netflix movie at night
Yeah.
when we're both exhausted.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a wind down. Maybe we do that for 90 minutes every night.
Mm-hmm.
That's never really been a big issue for me,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, because I only really watch it because I'm very obsessive. I'm an obsessive person.
Yeah,
My brain's
I am too.
always wired and thinking.
I think
thinking.
most business owners are obsessive. That's what I've noticed. You have to choose what you're obsessed with.
So I choose to watch Netflix for an hour at night because it's a little bit of a compromise. It's like the girlfriend works super hard helping build our business together.
No one knows how hard Luke's girlfriend works. He works her. I'm not even going to say the word. Everyone knows what I'm thinking.
Producer Pam is an OG. She does great.
Yeah.
So like watching.
So what's your default bad habit?
It would have to be food because everything else is very easy for me. Like if I go out and drink and have a big night, I'm very conscious of like the next day. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat crap. I'm going to drink a lot of water. I need to make up for the shit that I missed yesterday. You know what I mean? So that I never really have a bad habit with that. Probably food's the biggest one, I reckon.
I would say also just scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I can catch myself just freaking don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. 2.5 hours go by, you forget your life. You wake up, you just start fucking being a bitch.
Yeah.
And I mean that it bothers me in the time, but you are addicted to it. I mean, I know this for a fact. The entire goal of social media is to keep you addicted to scrolling, and it works really, really well.
I think that might be a reason why I have my bad habit, which I think is getting distracted. You know, maybe when I'm working or when I'm just out having fun or doing anything, just getting distracted from what I'm actually doing, losing my focus, and just going off into thoughts and thinking about something completely else, and just getting off track. And that could be because you also like go scrolling and just your attention span's getting dumber and dumber. I do that same thing. Like I'll wake up in the morning and scroll on my Instagram or something, even though I know it's bad for me.
Yeah, I think that's a great one as well. I think mine's Twitter. I don't use Instagram or Facebook. I might spend less than 5 minutes on each per day, but Twitter I think is a very seductive doom loop, and it's very difficult to I remembered a quote when you were just talking, PJ, but when your brain is like distracted from something, it takes you 20 minutes to get like back in the zone for your brain to be able to do deep work. So these people like Andrew Huberman and Cal Newport and Lex Friedman, who are all famous for like popularizing the idea of deep work, which is like a period of time where you just focus on one thing for 3 to 4 hours. This is obviously things like Alex Hormozy does the same thing. When he writes for 6 hours straight, no distractions.
That's something that you work up to, though. I mean, it's like a muscle.
Yeah.
So when I first started working, I could maybe only deep focus for an hour at a time. Probably less than that, if I'm being honest. And even the deep focus is a completely different definition
Nowhere near
to
as
the
effective.
how deeply focused I can get now. But over 2-3 years of working 10 hours every single day, inevitably your ability to focus increases with that. But for me, it's still changing my environment. Even though we are in a absolutely spectacular house, I still like to go out and to get coffee somewhere to do my work. And the reason for that is because I know that I do my work best out in public somewhere. And because I know myself, I just try and put myself in that situation. And then that is, you put yourself in an environment where you can work to the highest potential degree, at least the most efficiently. At least that's what I try and do.
Environment is everything.
It really is. And you can change your environment even if you're living at home. I mean, when I was living at home, I would just spend like 6-7 hours at the gym. I would go to Lifetime, which is a high-end gym, which they have a workspace. And because I knew if I was at home, I would catch myself laying on the couch. And the second I'm on the couch, my quality of work goes down. And so I would just work at Lifetime for 3 or 4 hours. I'd go work out. I'd come back down. I'd do more work. I'd go play pickleball. I'd start to do more work. And that was just how I'd spend my day because I knew that was my highest probability of achieving what I was trying to.
Goes back to something we were talking about earlier. Obviously environment, obviously surrounding yourself with other people. When you're at Lifetime, you're around other people who are competitive. They take their fitness seriously. They also are working at work at Lifetime at the same time. So it's all about environment, but also movement. We were talking about the importance of moving your body every day and how that just helps like your mind and how it helps, I think, your longevity.
And your ability to focus.
Mm.
After you work out, you can get the best, most high quality work done in the entire world.
Mm.
We were working earlier, then we worked out, then we came back down and did work. And I was thinking, I've never been this locked in my entire life.
Yeah.
Even though I get like that every single day, I still just, I try and be cognizant of when I'm in those types of states. And it's just so fun. I mean, how fun is it to work when you're in the flow state and you can
Oh
be
my
aware
gosh,
that you're in
yeah.
the flow state? It is so fucking fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really, that is the drug. And I know I have an
Yeah.
addictive personality. And so you have to choose what you're addicted to. It took me a long time, but I've gotten too addicted of the game of business. I am constantly trying to think about how to grow my business, how to get better at what I'm doing. I didn't like it when I started, but I've learned to absolutely obsess and love over it.
Money is the game of life, man.
And it's
Everybody's-
fun. It's
yeah.
damn fun. I mean, I've had so many people say that, dude, you're wasting your life. I'm having more fun than I could have ever have dreamed of. What I could picture a few years ago, what being the best version of life could ever be, I promise you right now, every single day is better than that reality of what I perceived the best life could be. I mean, it is so fucking fun kicking ass every single day. I don't think you can even put words to it.
Yeah, I'm working harder than I've ever worked before, and I'm still thinking of ways like how can I do even better or even more work than I'm doing right now, because you do get addicted to it. You're like, I want to you start to, well, you first of all, you're proud that you're actually, spending your time doing something, like striving towards success, and you just want to become better. It's like an athlete, want to become better at their craft. It's your art. It's what you're doing with your life. You want to be better.
That's a great analogy. Like an athlete. Athletes hyper obsess over their sports. I think we all hyper obsess over little things in our life as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you can choose your obsession.
Exactly.
I mean, I never give a shit about business, but when you start one and you start to fail, like the things that you hate the most are what you end up loving the absolute best. It's like video games. I remember I would play video games for 6-7 hours a day in high school every single day. And I hated it. I hated every second of it. But because I was obsessed, you hate things that you love, or you hate things that you want to get better at. And so when we're playing ping pong and I lose, I want to kill myself. I want to jump off this freaking bridge or this few story house and just commit suicide.
Yeah. But it puts that fire in your ass to lock
You're
in.
like, I'm not going to lose again.
At.
Yeah. It's you hate things that you end up really loving, or you can only love something if you hate it.